All right, welcome to the Explainer. So, look, right now there are two absolute heavyweights completely dominating the market when it comes to building software with AI. We're talking about Claude Code and Google's Antigravity. And man, for the past few months, the debate over which of these platforms is actually the best has been spreading like wildfire. So, if you're sitting there feeling totally overwhelmed, trying to figure out which AI coding assistant to learn and actually integrate into your workflow this year, take a breath. You are in the exact right place. We're going to take hundreds of hours of testing and distill the whole shebang down into a clear, actionable comparison. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our fight card for today. 1. The AI coding showdown. 2. Under the hood. 3. Pricing and performance. 4. Live test results. And 5. The final verdict. Kicking things off with Section 1, the AI coding showdown. Okay, to truly wrap our heads around what we're looking at, you gotta understand that both of these are highly capable agentic platforms. What does that mean? Well, they take a massive mission, break it into a step-by-step plan, spin up little sub-agents to work in parallel, and execute changes across your entire codebase. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. But the real differentiator here isn't just the AI model itself. It's where the tool actually lives. On one side, we have Claude Code. It's totally terminal first. It's a command line interface tool that plugs directly into whatever environment you're already using. So you keep your editor, you keep your hotkeys, your extensions. It just hands you the agentic primitives and lets you build on top of your existing setup. On the other side, Antigravity AI thinks a completely different path. It's a standalone IDE. It's highly visual, and it packages that whole agentic workflow into its own purpose-built environment. You don't plug it into your workflow, you literally move your entire workflow into Antigravity. Moving right along to Section 2, Under the Hood. Let's pop the hood and look at how their unique architectures actually dictate their strengths. Starting with Claude Code, which naturally is powered by Anthropic's models, its absolute biggest superpower is how it thinks before it acts. It has this dedicated, super methodical planning mode. It maps out multi-file work way before it ever changes a single line of code. It reads everything, it picks up on your naming conventions, and it understands your project structure so deeply that the code it spits out, it feels entirely natural. It fits right into your code base rather than feeling like it was just, clumsily bolted on. Now on the flip side, Antigravity defaults to Google's Gemini models. And it boasts this incredible manager view, where you can literally sit back and watch multiple agents working in parallel. Plus, it has a built-in browser agent that can navigate actual web pages. Because of this, it absolutely excels at building full apps and front-end UI and UX completely from scratch. But, and this is a pretty big but, there's a known vulnerability you need to know about. On longer projects, Antigravity can experience drift. Even Google's own developer forums note this. It might build something perfectly to spec on day 1, but by day 3, it starts kind of ignoring your original guidelines. But here is a massive point of convergence for us to look at. Both of these tools plug into the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. There are over 1,500 MCP servers out there right now, and that number is just exploding. This gives both Claude and Antigravity massive leverage to connect to the outside world, whether that's pulling data from GitHub, talking to your database, or even pinging external design tools. They aren't just isolated coding bots, they are heavily connected orchestrators. Right, Section 3, Pricing and Performance. Let's talk numbers. This is the industry standard SWE Bench Verify test. Basically, it measures how many real open-source GitHub issues the AI can fully resolve on its own. Claude Opus, running inside Claude Code, scored an incredibly impressive 80.9%. Gemini 3 Pro inside Antigravity came in pretty close behind at 76.2%. So, while Claude definitely takes a slight lead on paper, independent testing shows both of these tools deliver a massive 50 to 70% productivity gain for developers. To put that into perspective, that is an absolutely insane boost. They are both incredibly capable. However, speed and reliability right now, they're heavily tied to maturity and development pace. Check this out. In just the first quarter of 2026, Claude Code shipped 6 major platform-level features. We're talking multiple updates in a single week sometimes. Antigravity, which is still in a public preview stage, has had a notably slower cadence, mostly focusing on minor bug fixes and little optimizations. So Claude is just moving significantly faster right now, which translates to a more reliable, production-ready experience today. Okay, so what is this going to cost you? Both have a starting pro tier sitting around $20 a month, but for real, heavy daily usage, you're looking at the max or ultra tiers. That ranges from $100 to $200 a month for Claude Code, up to $250 a month for Antigravity. Now, wait, actually, let's reframe that. Do not look at this as just another expensive software subscription. Look at the output. You would never, ever be able to hire a human developer to give you this level of productivity for $200 a month. The leverage is just out of this world. And hey, if you just want to experiment, Antigravity does offer a free tier to get your feet wet. But regardless of which top-tier subscription you end up paying for, you absolutely have to master this one crucial new skill: managing tokens. Context loss is a harsh reality for both platforms. If you run 40-plus prompts back and forth, loading massive code bases, the AI is going to get confused. It'll lose track of earlier instructions and start introducing bugs. So what's the best practice for both? Keep your sessions focused. One task per session. Clear the chat and start fresh often.
Which brings us to Section 4, Live Test Results.
All right, it is time to step out of the theoretical sandbox and see how these tools handle real-world prompt gauntlets. We pushed their logic, planning, and design capabilities to the absolute limit. We ran 3 specific tests live. First, a super vague prompt to build a full-stack habit tracker app. No planning mode allowed. Second, a heavy research task using planning mode to generate a PDF on AI trends. And third, a pure web design gauntlet to build a premium landing page. Let's see who actually came out on top. So in test 1, the habit tracker. Both succeeded functionally without needing a planning phase, which is great. Claude Code built a solid working app with a calendar and streaks, but honestly, the layout was very basic, a bit vibe-coded, if you will. Antigravity, on the other hand, it finished the task faster and delivered a vastly superior design right out of the gate. It had a dynamic active habits layout, a daily score UI. It just felt so much more real and polished. Then, in test 2, we let them use planning. And here, Claude Code really flexed its superior logic. Before it even generated the PDF, it planned out an exact summary, styled the HTML beautifully, and crucially, it actually cited real sources at the bottom of the report. Antigravity? Well, it basically skipped the planning entirely. It rushed the job, spit out a visually unstyled PDF, and included exactly 0 citations. For logic and thoroughness, Claude Code was the undeniable winner here. And finally, test 3, the web design gauntlet for an AI course landing page. Claude Code gave us good structure and solid copy, but again, the styling felt very functional and basic. But Antigravity? It completely flexed its visual muscles on this one. From just a single prompt, it generated dynamic background animations, floating elements, beautiful color depth. It just had this highly premium feel. And finally, Section 5, the final verdict. So after examining their architectures, running the benchmarks, and analyzing all these live tests, it's time to digest this into a final, actionable recommendation for you. If you take away literally just one thing from this explainer, make it this: Claude Code thinks better, but Antigravity makes things look better. It's that simple. If your main priority is rapid, beautiful front ends, or if you just want to test the waters for free, use Antigravity. But if you care about complex logic, real code quality, deep configurability, and production reliability for back-end workflows, Claude Code is absolutely the tool you want to invest your time in. And that leads us to our final thought. The AI coding landscape right now, it isn't about finding one single undisputed champion to rule them all. It's about knowing the strengths of your arsenal. So I leave you with this question to ask yourself today. Stop looking for a single winner. Based on the exact project you are building right now, is it a visual front end or is it complex back-end logic? Which tool does your specific job best? Choose your weapon and start building.